Today is day 217 of the podcast, and listen to Colossians 3, verses 2 to 3. Set your mind on the things above, not on the things that are on the earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. We're going to be looking at where we are and how we are united with Christ today. Romans 6:5 says, "For if we have become united with him in the likeness of his death, certainly we shall also be in the likeness of his resurrection." There is a unity in his crucifixion, in his resurrection, and today we're going to look at this unity that takes place in his ascension as well. Part of our maturing process in Christ is to become united with him in all things. And when we're identified with him in his crucifixion, then we consider ourselves dead to sin, our old self crucified with him. And when we are united with him in the likeness of his resurrection, then death is no longer master over us. We are living in his newness of life. And then there's this third way to become united with him in our spiritual journey. So listen to Ephesians 2, verses 4 through 6. "But God, being rich in mercy, because of his great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our transgressions, made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved, and raised us up with him and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus." Living this merged life is a fantastic way of learning the true nature of the state of things for us. Following the ascension, the Father seated Jesus and said this, in which he brought, I'll start at verse 9, Ephesians 1:19. "And what is the surpassing greatness of his power toward us who believe? These are in accordance with the working of the strength of his might, which he brought about in Christ when he raised him from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly places, far above all rule and authority and power and dominion and every name that is named, not only in this age, but also in the one to come." We have been united with him, placed with him, and are living and called to live this merged life with him also where he is now. We've been joined to Christ in the likeness of his ascension. We are now seated above the fray. So instead of the world overcoming us, there is this call for us to overcome the world. So here's today's question. How do you sustain this heavenly perspective when you're in the midst of a trial?